Salty being gone for 3 days, check. Hello everyone, I'm sorry for the lack of uploads as of recent. I've been doing a lot of IRL stuff, and you know I got caught up with all of that and stopped uploading for a bit. But hey, now we're back, so it doesn't matter now, and it's inconsequential of me even mentioning the fact that I was gone. Also, I want to thank you for the amount of views we got on the last video. It was actually kind of nutty, so yeah, thank you, it was pretty poggers. Moving on now. Now remember back way when I talked about H0m0ph0b1a, one of the most problematic MCYT stands that I've ever seen. They made not safe for work art of minors such as Tommy and Tubbo, as well as not safe for work art of J-Schlatt and Tubbo, more and more. Honestly, there's a lot of things I could have talked about, and most of those things, you know, I did talk about. There was more to it, but I labeled them the most problematic dream stand I had ever seen. That opinion may change now today. Today I'm going to be discussing another MCYT stand, at least sort of a stan. Not necessarily a stan, but you can call him that if you'd like. Now, did this person draw any gross art of any minors from the MCYT community or the Dream SMP? Not necessarily, so it may be incomparable to what J0m0ph0b1a did. The person I'm going to be talking about today, what's JLemonGrass? What is that name? Okay, I'm gonna call him J for the sake of time management and my brain not having an aneurysm. Also, this video idea is from Harley TBS. Thank you for supplying me with content. Okay, moving on. Now, multiple of the things that this artist has stated are, not very good, and that's to say the least. Oh, and that reminds me, by the way, I'm going to be mentioning homophobia, racism, transphobia, etc., stuff like that. So if you don't find that topic interesting, or you are sensitive to it in any form or way, I'd recommend clicking off the video, because that's probably not something you want to see. Moving on now. A recent Twitter thread had come out on July 9th by It's Miss Michaela, who got their account, like, disabled, so it was so difficult getting screenshots of this video. But they basically released a Twitter thread exposing multiple of the things that Jay has stated: racist slurs, gay slurs, transphobic statements, support of incest, saying that transgenderism isn't real or good. Their words, not mine. And again, a lot of other stuff like that. And even responding to the situation with multiple excuses that were awful at best. Before we get into this video, and this is also excuse me, this is also something that Harley mentioned in their video. I'm not a person of color or a member of the LGBTQ+ community, so I cannot really speak for a minority, and if I did, I'd be a little hypocritical because I called out people in the past for doing that. Despite that, everything I'm saying is going to be reiterated from somebody else if it's on the topic of that, excuse me. But I will be giving my opinion, at least in some point. But again, I want to state that I'm not a person of color, nor person from the LGBT, so I cannot really speak for other people. Again, yeah, I just wanted to make that clear. By the way, everyone, all the sources and stuff will be linked in the description. Okay, moving on to the actual video where I get into the thread and stuff. Yeah. Trigger warning: racism / Ensler. Jay is racist. Here's a picture of her saying the equivalent of the Russian N-word and showing a picture of Genshin Impact characters with their skin color changed, saying it scared her. Excuse me, I was just clearing my throat because I have a condition. It's called allergic to racism-itis. I don't think I need to explain why saying the N-word is bad. Okay, it is. But I also like to highlight the fact that I'll get into later on this thread. This sort of behavior has been circling around the circle of Jay for a while, or at least a lot of people act like this. Multiple of the comments from fans talking about this very situation include the N-word multiple times, which makes me believe that Jay encourages this behavior, or at least normalizes it to their fans. But you know, dude, why? That's really all I can ask, why, but eventually we will get an answer. Moving on later when they respond, we'll get an answer, because they did, and I'll go on to that later. This is a bad constructed video. Also, the Genshin Impact thing, I don't even need to say anything. Jay later claims in their response that they did not understand why the N-word was offensive back in that time, but this is purely offensive, and knowing that people are black is sort of like, and then saying, you know, that you're scared of them just because of that fact, it's blatantly offensive, and you should have known. Or, moreover, you did know, and you're just trying to excuse yourself from your actions. Anyways, moving on to the later claims. True warning: homophobia, fetishization of MLM, and BLM, and incest. Here are pictures of JLemonGrass saying that she's not a fan of the LGBT movement, but she likes an incestuous MLM pairing, and a photo of her she wished people would stop promoting LGBT and make more fan art of this pairing. You know how that that racism thing was sort of blatant? Well, yeah, they really like to be blatant with bad things. Not only is Jay racist and homophobic, they support incestuous ships. Oh, lottie-doo, what a glorious day to be alive. Trigger warning, incest. Here are photos of Jay talking about an incestuous pairing between two Genshin characters who are brothers, saying that she doesn't see a problem with it other than the other one. I got hooked on an incest pairing between two brothers and no one writes fan fictions about them. I want a KMS. Well, we have more evidence that they support incestuous relationships. I don't understand the appeal to incestual relationships. I honestly don't get it, man. Like, two people that are blood related that will cause unhealthy offspring if they do the dirty. What is the appeal? Where's the I don't even know, man. Jay states that they think canon lesbian pairings in cartoons serve only as a mockery of gay ones. What? Excuse me? I don't even understand this one. What? Okay, I'm so confused. Can somebody explain how they could even come up with this in the first place? Trigger warning for homophobia / F slur. Here's a picture of her saying the Russian equivalent of the F slur. Jeez. Which, I don't need to state why this one is bad either. But once again, just like the N-word thing, seems to be repeated behavior throughout the fan base. So once again, I don't really believe the notion that they did not know the meaning of the word. Now here we have a screenshot of Jay directly stating that they believe transgenderism is a mistake by nature. It's funny how they say that they hate the idea of normalizing stuff when they normalize using the N-word and F-word around their community. Wonderful. Just wonderful. Transgenderism isn't a medical mistake caused by nature. No, this is giving me very Antunes vibes, because Antunes is also talking about transgenderism in response to a comic about it. I don't know, I thought I could just make a little funny connection. I remember how I was talking about the behavior of using the N-word and the F-word in the fan base. You know, not only just the creator as well as in the fan base. Well, here's what I was talking about. These were multiple comments made about Miss Michaela under a post talking about her, which again just shows the behavior of the community in itself. Now, since I've gotten through basically all the claims that are of merit or at least worthy of bringing into this video, in my opinion, of course, if you'd like to go check out the Twitter thread, it's linked in the description. Basically, they had responded, as in Jay had responded to the entire Twitter thread, so we're going to be going over that now. This is back in 2019. I wasn't aware of how offensive the word actually is. I heard it in the songs, and I thought it was more like calling someone bro, but in a more negative way. I don't mean to offend anyone. I used to call my cat who punched my hand. Once again, I sincerely doubt this excuse, but once again, there is a language barrier between the two. I've defended multiple people on this and this sort of way in the past with language barriers. So you may be asking, well, isn't that a little hypocritical, Salty? But that was for much different situations. If you look at the Funny video, I defend the language barrier because they were simple jokes and there was not really anything wrong with them. This, on the other hand, is blatant racism as well as blatant homophobia. So comparing the two is like comparing an elephant to an ant. I'm not afraid of black people in any way, they say, despite that contradicts the post, but that's whatever. They exclaimed the excuse that they thought the noses and the lips also looked weird, so, you know, that was the one thing they thought looked weird, and that's why they were scared. Despite being the main thing that was changed was the skin color. And I swear to God, they had no intention of talking about the mouths and the lips, because the one key factor that everyone gets from it before taking a closer look is the fact that their skin color has changed. And I guarantee you that, well, you did too. Basically, they stated the fact that in this community that they were joining about the incestuous relationship between two brothers. It was normalized, so it's perfectly okay. Which, you know, could be a very real possibility, but it is someone's job when they do join a community where this sort of thing is normalized. Think about it in a placing of, like, hey, in real life this is bad, but in this community it's normalized, so I think it's normal. It's not how people should think, and I don't think it is. Stating that it's not something to care about despite making multiple posts talking about this incestuous relationship and how you enjoy it is simply a blatant lie and is quite contradicting even in the post that you are talking about. It outright proves your point wrong. And they state that they didn't understand, like, trans people because their first encounter was shocking and they thought it was bad for a body to switch, and they did not, and the trans person didn't educate them correctly, or didn't educate them at all. But once again, that's not the responsibility of the trans person. Okay, like, it's not someone's responsibility to educate that, they can do it if they want to, and you could ask them, say, hey, I need some help on this, can you talk to me about it? If they say no, it's perfectly fine, because then you can do your own research yourself, you can talk to different people about it. If they say yes, then problem solved. But no, it's the trans person's fault for inherently not educating you, despite it not being a obligation. Moving on. First post is in 2019 when I thought all LGBT stuff is gay parades or our news share. It was a hard moment for me to change my view. Amount of posts on Twitter confused me, and I didn't understand what all of this is about. Why so much of it. Second post is about cookie-run.I. Yeah, honestly, I just don't even see an excuse here, so I don't know what to say. And then this one, I don't even need to explain anything. Just look at it. Once again, another thing that I don't understand that can be any form of excuse whatsoever. So again, I'm going to move on because it's blatantly obvious that this person is running out of excuses. This one, they need an explanation for the F word, which again, it could be possibly understandable. But once again, you know, this has been used in the community of people that are fans of this person. So yeah. Here too, comics showed how persons switched and made it look easy and a good thing. I didn't understand it all. I thought I encouraged people to switch without keeping all important dangers in mind. Okay, this person is acting like transgenderism is some made-up comic sort of deal that you only can get from comics, which is completely false. It's like they're saying it's something out of the Looney Tunes, like it's just this whack-a-ball sort of thing. It's never been made before this comic, you know. But you know what? Anyways, I'm gonna get like dinner in 2 hours outside in the real world where I have to socialize with people. So I'm probably gonna end the video here. Yeah. But if you did enjoy my content, then I'd recommend subscribing and liking and all that. Then leave. Peace out. Yeah, club guys.
You've been sending flowers to me.